I'm Rena. I'm the Slow Knitter from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to episode 40 of the Slow Knitter podcast. I'm happy to have you with me. And if you are a current subscriber, thank you so much for stopping in and checking it out again, checking episode 40 out again. And welcome if you have not subscribed to this video or if you're new to this video. It's a video about knitting and my passion for it. Please subscribe if you enjoy yourself today. Okay, look what I'm wearing. Yes, the name of this episode is what I'm wearing. This is the Turtledove sweater, but the name of the episode is Turtledove because I love it. I love it. And I've watched all of my fellow knitters make it out of all kinds of different yarns. They all are beautiful. I have made mine out of Woolfolk Luft. And it's sort of a purple, they're numbered, so anyway. And I really enjoyed the knit. And I'll give you a little bit of background about it. First, I just want to tell you that you can find all my contact information, where to find me on Ravelry, where to find me on the interwebs, below this video, where the subscribe button is. So if you've not subscribed again, please subscribe. Anyway, this, so yeah, I was really happy with this. This took me about 3 weeks, but 3 months, 2.5 months to make, which is really short for me because it takes me a really long time to finish a sweater. But let me tell you a little bit about it. So you'll have some contacts, and I know a lot of people have been making it. First of all, it's the Turtledove pattern by Espace Tricot. It is a free pattern on Ravelry, and I will put the link below to the pattern. I will link a lot of this information below, so don't have to take notes. I will stand up and I will show you what I did to it. First of all, I did make it out of the Woolfolk Luft, which was the recommended yarn by Melissa and Lisa of Espace Tricot, and it's a bulky weight yarn. I don't usually knit with this weight, but the yarn is so light and airy, you really don't feel like you're knitting with heavy bulky. Okay, so I will move back. Try not to trip myself. I did this a little shorter, okay, because like it comes up to here, right? I also did the split hem, which is longer in the back. I'm standing on my tippy toes. A little longer in the back, a little shorter in the front, 6 inches down. So I did follow the instructions. I also made my sleeves 3/4, which is what I wanted to do. And you know, it's very deep raglan, so that when you lift your arms, it's a little bat wingy, which is really fine. I mean, I don't mind it. I usually make my sweaters a little longer, like around hip length. This is a little shorter than that, and I kind of like it because I'll probably be wearing it with jeans or with, these are my yoga pants or a long skirt or something. It's a little warm in Atlanta now to wear this. Although it's so light, it's not heavy. I will tell you what I did. Now the pattern calls for 10 3/4, I think, needle. I swatched at 9 because I'm a very loose knitter. I made gauge, and I made the turtleneck a size smaller out of size 8 because I wanted it to be snug, and it is snug. I mean, it's plenty of room, but I like how it stands up. Some of in my knitting group have made beautiful sweaters out of Luft. Beautiful. Not necessarily this one. And they use the bigger needle, and it opens up the yarn a little bit, the bigger needles. This is a little bit denser. The fabric that it's created is a little bit denser. You can see as I stand up. But it still has that characteristic where the cotton, this is a blend of merino and cotton, Pima cotton, where the cotton you can still see through it. When you work on it with a larger needle, it'll just open up this yarn a little bit more. But I have to say that every time I put it on, I'm more happy with it than I was the last time I wore it. You know, so And so it's like I'm figuring out how to wear I don't usually wear it. There, you know, there's no, in this sweater, there's no shaping. So it's pretty, you know, boxy on me anyway. So that's fine. No shaping is fine. If it is no shaping for me, it needs to be shorter-ish, because I think the longer one, I don't know. I'm still a pretty novice sweater knitter. I'm not real confident yet in sizing. So once I get a little bit more confident in sizing, I think it'll go better. So yeah, I'm really thrilled with Turtledove. Yeah, I love the color, which is sort of like an eggplanty color. It's very light. It's gonna cool down in Atlanta this, I think a little bit. I think we're getting a lot of rain, so it's cooling it off a little because it got really warm. But yeah, I'm just thrilled with it. Yeah. Okay, that's one FO. See, you have to jump right into these things. Not a lot of chitter chatter. So that's an FO, and I'm super, super pleased with it. I would definitely knit with this yarn again. Again, I don't know about the larger needles because they really hurt my hands, but I might give it a try, like for a small, I have 2 skeins of this left. It's not a lot of yardage, but I might try something and use a 10 to see if it, I don't know. I'll tell you, this is a sweater I probably would make again. Only because it's so comfy, although so many beautiful patterns can be made from this. A friend of mine made a beautiful sweater. I don't know the name of it, but if I do, I'll let you know what it is. It's gorgeous. And anyway, I might be tempted to make that sweater out of Woolfolk Luft. Beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I highly, 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 highly recommend it. Yeah, another friend of mine made the Mitra cardigan, also by Shelley. The designer is Shelley Anderson of Mitra, and it's beautiful. She did a fantastic job. So I will stop now singing the praises of Woolfolk Luft, but give it a thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. And thank you, Melissa, for this beautiful pattern, and Woolfolk for developing this beautiful yarn. I like the sleeves length. You know, the other day it was chilly, so I wore it with just a long sleeve black tee, and it's fine. It's really fine. Let's talk about my next FO. Okay, wait, I had notes. I should consult my notes, because one of the things that is important to do when you podcast is to have some sort of coherent topics you want to cover. I'm not saying that it always works. Here it is. Okay. All right. So I have a shawl knit along. And so one of the things I'm doing is a lot of shawls. Now I've showed you the Eiffel Gold shawl, which was on my last podcast. I haven't made much progress on it. I'm in sort of the potato chippy blue section for a long while. So I'll show it to you when I go to the next mosaic section. But in the meantime, I was also working on a shawl by Joji called Slow Curves. And again, I'll put the link below. And it is a rather large Joji shawl. At the end of it, it's like 500 and something stitches. I had one experience with doing a 500 plus stitch shawl, and it just about broke me. So I know what my limit is. Like I know like over 350 stitches, it's just too much. So I expressed this to Magley from Heart and Spirit Atlanta, who was running this knit along of Slow Curves. And I said, I can't do a 500 stitch shawl. It just kills me. And she said, okay, how about I look at the pattern and I modify it for you just with a reduced number of stitches. I said, okay, let's look at that. So we did. I think you've heard me talk about this before. Well, I finally finished it. And I'll tell you what, I'm so happy with it. It's like, yeah. I think the last time, well, do I have it backwards? No, it's garter, so it can't be backwards. But I'll put it this way, okay. So I would say the last time I showed you, I was just adding this color 3 here. Well, the color 3's been added, and then I dug deep in my stash for color 4, which is one of our shawl indie dyers who's contributing to our shawl cal, is Diana of Love Bugs Yarn from Scotland. And I had bought her skein of a skein of yarn from her maybe last spring, a year ago. Yeah, I would say it was a year ago. And I picked it up and I went, oh my goodness, it is so perfect for this as the 4th color, because a lot of the colors in her yarn are the colors here and here. So it worked out beautifully, and Magley really modified it well. And so this is the small version, and to tell you the truth, it just goes with everything. You can wear it like a traditional shawl, although it's crescent shaped, so you probably want to wear it, you know, a little differently. Or as I was wearing it all weekend, almost cowl-like. I wore it all weekend. I'll tell you about the weekend in a minute, but well, you know, you pull it down like that. So a friend of mine down at the beach, Martha's making Turtledove, and then a friend of mine, Sherlyn, is making Turtledove, and she's making this slow curves shawl. I love this shawl. I'll tell you what, it's so light and wearable. It's in a lot of short rows. That keeps it interesting and fun. A lot of fading and short rows. Again, interesting and fun. I never got bored with it, because with the short rows, you know, you only go so far and you have to go back. Then you go a little further and you go back. And that just it wasn't like 330 stitches, 330 stitches, 330. It felt a little bit more manageable for me. Anyway, so I'm into short row shawls. Just saying. Anyway, so yeah. Second FO, yay. Love it, love it, love it. I'm not gonna put it on top of this. Might be a little too warm. Yeah, I'm very, 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 very happy with my FOs for this podcast. That's my race. That's my race against myself. Am I going to have things done for the podcast? Because I'd like to show you the progress I'm making. All right. Now, in my last podcast, I quietly complained about this ribbing here. It's really beautiful. I'll take a step back. You can't really see it. Let me step back a little further. So it's knit one regular and purl one through the back loop. And as a continental knitter, that's a twisted rib. And as a continental knitter, I had the hardest time purling through the back loop. As I mentioned before, I finally got it. I got the rhythm of it, and it was fine. It worked out bueno. But it was really like, oh God, I have to purl through the back loop section again. Ugh. So I asked you at the last podcast, what are your least favorite knit stitches? And there's a consensus that not everybody likes nups or bobbles. Isn't nup a kind of a bobble? I think it is. And then my friend Karen from she's a podcast, KT Knits. She said she doesn't really have any least favorite stitch, but knitting 4 together was a little bit of a strain. Knitting 4 together. Okay. Okay, I've not done that yet. I know I'm going to run into that one day, but I have not done knitting 4 together. Yikes! Anyway, so that's most I got nups or bobbles. Knitting 4 together. That's all I got. Anyway, I'm just looking at my notes to make sure I cover everything. All right. Oops. Okay, a lot more to cover. All right. Let's talk about my whips. I had a whip that I put aside And I think I put it aside because this came about. And I really wanted to get to this. So this is the Indigo Frost pattern. It's a poncho by Isabell Kraemer. I will put the link below. And I said, where's that? Do I still love it? Yes, I do. And I think the last time I shared this with you, I was not this far down. So it's really, by the way, it's a lovely pattern to knit. This will be for next winter because unless I go someplace really cool between now and then, which I probably won't. And it's beautiful. And making this out of Cascade 220, they're heathered color. This is the wool that Isabell Kraemer used on the pattern display. So I decided, let me just jump and use that. It's also mosaic knitting around the yoke. It's beautiful and a lovely, lovely knit because it's, again, kind of like the Turtledove. It's really only going to be a little bit lower than waist length. It's not a huge, big pattern. It's sort of shortish, which makes it, I think, a little bit more contemporary. So, and it's going to be super warm. I have seen people knit this without the turtleneck. So, you know, without the turtleneck, it would sort of look like this. I'm not doing it right. Anyway, I use the exact colors that she used just to make sure that I followed it correctly. If I did this again, and I might do it again, I probably would do a version without the turtleneck. I also saw somebody do a version in a cotton, just one color cotton, but this same kind of, I don't know how she did the mosaic. I can't remember, but I know that there was some sort of a yoke treatment, and but it was in the same color. It was really lovely, and it was cotton. So I did look that one. I think I saved that in my favorites. Anyway, this is coming across. I first saw this, a fellow podcaster, Sharon, of Knit Styles podcast, had it on right after she got back from the Edinburgh Yarn Festival 2018. I know that 2019 is about to come up in a couple weeks. And she had it on, and I looked at it, I was like, holy crap, what does she have on? And then she went into what she had on, and I immediately bought the pattern, I immediately bought the yarn. And so I've been working on that for a while. But I'm ready to get through it so that I could have something ready for next fall, winter, because we're in spring now. But so that's Indigo Frost. That's what I'm working on right now. I'm also working on three pairs of socks. Well, I joined Mina Phillips' knitting sock club, which is Seasons. It's called the Seasons Sock Club, and I'll put a link below. And I joined that. I've made 2 of her socks from that club. I'm making the 3rd one, and you know, they're all pattern socks. In other words, in this particular one, it's a cable pattern, and I'm trying to practice my cables to get more confident. Probably shouldn't do it on socks, but I am. And it's going really well. I'm using, I'll put the details below about which yarn I'm using. Just fell out of my head. Anyway, I wanted to share with you the other pair of socks that I'm working on, which are coming along very well. And again, being distracted by this and the shawl, I had to put it aside, and I would just pick it up every now and then. This is Marce of Hey Brownberry's Pebbles and Pathways socks. Now, I talked about my last podcast of how I was going to use Maria, a good friend of Marce's, Maria, who's Ninja Chickens on Instagram, how I was going to use her sock blank, because they're 2 good friends. I thought that would be really a good mix, using Marce's pattern and Maria's sock blank. Well, I started it, and I think I showed you that I'd started the toe. It was very difficult to knit with, to knit this fine a pattern. And I had to rip it out. I couldn't do it. So I went to more of a superwash sock weight yarn. for my friend Lauren of Old Rusted Chair. And I'm so happy I made the switch because now I can actually knit the socks. So I've made some progress and I wanted to share it with you. Which one's longer? This one, okay. I do my socks tandem. By the way, I'm using Licca needles, size 0, size 1. I love them. They're very pointy. So this is the sock. So you can see it's a little cable pattern on the side. You see it? And, you know, sort of purling in the middle. This is the back of it. It's toe up. And I think you can repeat the pattern if you want to when you get above the toe and do it around. I don't know. I'll come to it when I can. I'm really, really enjoying it. And Mars is sponsoring our next giveaway for the sock knit along in my Ravelry group, Theslowknitter Ravelry group. She's sponsoring this next my next giveaway for that, which is the end of this month. She's giving this pattern. She's gifting this pattern to the winner, and also a really great surprise, which is just an enamel pin, which is beautiful, and I might throw in some goodies too. So you want to enter your socks in my sock cow on Ravelry. Okay, so this is really coming along well. The yarn is Old Rusted Chair Cabernet, something like that. It's beautiful yarn. Seriously beautiful. Lauren's yarns are special. To me, they are. But yeah, I mean, it's a great pattern. You know, it's cabling here, cabling there, and then, yeah, it's a very nice pattern. So for the lucky winner who gets the free pattern, I hope you get it and enter away. If not, go on Ravelry and download this pattern. It's a great, great pattern. So the socks that I'm working on from the Season Sock Club with Mina is Spring Shower sock. It's also cable. I'm not ready to share that with you, but listen to this. So I have a lot of appointments, doctor's appointments, this appointment, that appointment, where I'm going to have a lot of downtime. Yesterday I was trying to qualify for a certain exercise trial. And for MS, I have MS. So they're doing these exercise trials and you have to be interviewed for 4 hours. And I thought, I can't do one of these. I need to bring something with me. I don't want to bring a shawl or a sweater. I need a vanilla sock. I need a vanilla sock. So of course, rooting around in my stash, I forgot I had these. I'm so glad I found them again. I have KnitPicks Felici, which is a great workhorse sock yarn, fun. I thought, you know what, I just take Felici and I'll just do a vanilla sock. So I'm doing a vanilla sock with Felici. And I looked at the sock and I thought, how perfect is this? St. Patrick's Day is coming up and I need a greenish. I need something that is the luck of the Irish, since my husband is Irish. And buried in my stash, I found Felici. Look at this green in it. And then, so I cut it on the needles, and very St. Patrick's Day, very springy. There's this yellow, and I mean, there's pink, and I'm coming up to a blue. But you know, it's just a vanilla, plain vanilla sock. It's so fun. It's mindless. I forgot how fun vanilla socks are because I haven't knit a vanilla sock in a long time. So this is a fun Felici thing. I have some, I didn't want to do the cuff. I'm going to do the heels and the toe in either this blue or this green. Yeah, and whatever. The heel and the toe will be in a contrasting color because I'm going to be doing the afterthought heel on this because I don't want to disrupt the striping, you know. So, yeah. I forgot how fast these go and how fun they are. But I have like a dentist appointment where I'm going to have like downtime during the appointment. And I'm going to have, I don't know, I have a lot of appointments that I have like downtime. And I thought, okay, I need a vanilla sock. I don't need a sock where I have to concentrate. And these cabled socks, I sort of have to concentrate because I'm not a confident cabler. I hope to become one. That's my goal. think I'm going to use the green. I hope to become one. That's my goal. That's one of my goals that I've had. I had it last year. I have it again this year. to do some cables. Because I hang out with some girls that like are master cablers. And I'm just jelly, okay? I'm putting it out there. Ladies, are you listening? I'm jealous of you. Okay. All right. Now, I will tell you about a sweater that I am going to cast on. It's going to take me a good several months to do this sweater. So I'm hoping that by the time I'm done with it, it'll be ready to wear. Maybe up again sooner. I don't think so. All right. This is a Caitlin Hunter Boyland Knits sweater. It's called Koivua. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's a name, a Scandinavian name. Koivua. And when I first saw it, I thought maybe it's too busy over here. Maybe I'll just do this part and the sleeves. But then the more I look at it, the more I think, you know what? Even if it's a novelty sweater for me, it would still be a blast to do. So I started to swatch. I got some Primrose DK. I have Quince DK. So I was gonna maybe do the body of the sweater in the Primrose gray. So, and then try and swatch it again in the Quince light gray DK. I also swatched it around, by the way. I'm glad I did. I followed instructions on doing it and then cutting it, and I'm glad I did it. This isn't a full swatch. I cheated on the length of it, but I did enough to get an idea of what the gauge might be. So I did this first in the recommended needle size. Then I did this, which is the Quince DK with the Primrose Gray. And there's a textured part of the pattern as well as the color work part. And then I did a little bit longer swatch, also in the round, as you can see from the cut ends. And I did meet gauge on this in a smaller, one needle size lower. I think that pattern calls for a 6. I swatched this in a 5 and met gauge. I did. Then I was like a little bit flummoxed about what size this was. This is a little bit of an oversized sweater, sort of like this, although I didn't do this hugely oversized. And my friends measured me and said, really, you should be, I thought I was going to do, if I was going to go down a needle size, I was going to go up a size in the sweater, which I did with this. This is not the extra small, this is the small in size 9 instead of, I was going to go extra small, 10 3/4, couldn't handle the needle, so that worked. They measured me. There's a certain amount of positive ease in this, and they said, really, you should be in medium in the sweater because it'll give you that amount of positive ease that she specifies. So I am going to do the medium and try it on as I go. And if I have to go smaller, I'll do a little shaping. Probably not. But it's also this sort of like high hip length sweater. It's not a long sweater. So even if it has a little bit of movement, it's not gonna be a bad thing. And I am the medium according to Caitlin's measurements along the top. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go down a needle size because that's where I met gauge, and I'm gonna do the medium size. And I am gonna do this color combination. I thought, let's just try this and this, but I think I'm gonna like this, I think, because it sort of emulates a little bit of the pattern, you know, where she has like a light base and a darker color. So I'm excited about starting that. I'm all set up for that to do, and yeah, that's the next one on the needle. I was hoping to do, I have beautiful cotton yarn by Barocco named Corsica, and it's a blend of cotton and cashmere. Beautiful yarn to work with. I was hoping to do a little cardigan, but we've been looking at patterns and nothing's really striking me. I like them, but Nothing's really hitting me to do, so I'm not going to force it. I'm just not going to force it. I'll find it. Eventually I'll find a pattern. I'll knit with it. It's not really going to matter when, but not going to force. I feel like I have to force it, and I don't want to do it. This, I really want to at least cast on and get through the yoke section, particularly because it's color work, and I love stranded color work. Love it. Okay. All right. Let me tell you a little bit about my acquisitions. Aren't a lot. This last weekend was a fiber festival in one of the suburbs here, and we met. Teresa and I went, and we met my friend Sherlyn, and we introduced to Teresa. And now there's a love affair going on between them. I love Sherlyn. Sherlyn and I have almost the exact same aesthetic in garments to knit and shawls. She's also making Turtledove, and she's doing it with a KnitPicks yarn, which is beautiful. And she's doing it in this gorgeous blue, and I have serious envy. Now I want to do it in that color. Gorgeous. So I guess she's close to finishing. I can't wait to see it. So she brought that, well, no. So we went to the fiber festival. It was okay. I got some things I'll share. First of all, Cedar Hill Farm Company was there. Let me show you this label. Can you see it? Look at this color. She calls this color Tuscany. And it is a superwash 4-ply fingering weight, 100% superwash merino. This color is like, as soon as I was like, she had a beautiful shawl pattern that featured this color, but I had sample, and I was like, and I have a lot of beautiful stuff that will go with this. So this will be factored into something. I'm not sure what, but I love it. The other thing that Teresa said that she wanted, and I saw it as well, and I thought, what a great idea. Maybe I should get one of those. This is I don't know what this is called. What do you call these things? Where you put your yarn? For color work, this is going to be perfect because I'll have one skein of yarn on one side. One skein of yarn on one side, and it will just twirl. Yeah, you get it. It's handmade. The couple was there, and Jean Ann Wood and Fiber from Milledgeville, Georgia. I will put the link below. Nancy and Thomas Smith. Nancy makes beautiful project bags, and there's some hint that I might get one to give away. And her husband Tom makes these beautiful, I don't even, what do you call this? A yarn cozy? Not a cozy. A yarn twister? I don't know, but I love it. Now I want to get like a whole bunch more. And it's really well made. I mean, it's beautiful. How he makes it, like, yikes. Beautiful. And it came in all different kinds of wood. I got one, Teresa got one, Sherlyn got one. I mean, we all got one because we love them. And it's really going to be very handy. I'll keep one yarn in my yarn bowl, which my niece Courtney gave me 2 Christmases ago. And then one yarn I'll keep on there so it's not running all over my desk. Yeah, hello guys. I hear you watch my podcast. Yeah, I love it. I'm very happy with it. I might even use it probably for a lot of other things that I have, but you know, it just turns around. And the yarn goes with it. Very, very handy, particularly for color work, I think. It's gonna be great. So I'm excited about having that join my yarn accessories. Hi guys. Stuff. So I'm very, very pleased. So those were my purchases at the Fiber Fair. I didn't go overboard. You know how you're influenced by your knitty friends? So I was very influenced by one of my knitty friends who had ordered, I'm always in the market for good bags. I mean, little project bags, I love little project bags. I collect them. Maybe I've gotten too many of them over the years. I can't seem to part with them yet, but there will come a time when I will go through them, sit here with some of my friends who don't have them, and share. But one of my friends was carrying around the new, well, it's relatively new. I haven't seen it around. It's collecting dust. Twig and Horn. Look at this bag. It's from Twig and Horn. I will put the link below. It has beautiful leather straps. It has crossbody or, you know, thing. It's huge. You can carry a few projects in here and your purse. In fact, one of my friends uses the middle zipper as a purse. You can see the inside is big. 4 huge outside pockets, which will swallow up your sunglasses if you're not careful, which it has swallowed up my sunglasses. But it's so practical, and it's the bomb. It's my favorite bag that I've gotten so far. I will say that. It's just practical because you can carry so many things and your purse and your glasses and everything else and all in one bag. And I'm going on a trip in May, as you know. I may have mentioned it, and I did mention it. I'm going to be living out of this bag because, you know, you got to bring your knitting on a trip. Yeah, and then, all right, so let me tell you, I think that's the end of what I have to show you. I had such a fun weekend last weekend. It was a total knitty weekend, the whole weekend. And so again, I told you, Charlene and Teresa and I went to the fiber fair in one of the suburbs, and it was fine. A lot about spinning. We ran into Jade of So Perfect Pearls and her adorable son. Her son is like, he was weaving. He's gonna be super talented kid. I mean, in crafting, I know he is. Anyway, she was there. We met her, and Jade and I have been trying to get together. About 2 years ago, we tried. It didn't work, and so now we finally ran into each other, which is great. And then I think I posted that picture. Then the next day at Heart and Spirit Atlanta, where those who participated in this knit along were going to show their Slow Curves shawl again, which I did. There are a lot of, so another group of ladies that I knit with, they joined me over there. Charlene came down again from, she lives far out, but she was going to church close by. So she came over, Teresa came with me again. We had some lunch next door at a salad place, and then we went in. And Heart and Spirit Atlanta has sort of a big booth in this West Side Marketplace, which is a beautiful furniture kind of marketplace. Anyway, more and more and more people came. We had to move tables. We had to go all the way in the back. This huge long tables that had to be pushed together. People that I haven't run into in a while were there. It was a blast. All I know is that we kept laughing and laughing and showing each other our work. Super talented knitters there. My friend Janelle and Martine were there, and met some new people. And I mean, we were laughing so hard at one point. I think several of us may have peed in our pants. Just saying. It was so fun. In fact, I had to come down off it the next day. I had to like have total quiet. I was like so buzzed from being around these super talented knitters. We cracked up because we learned about a new cast on called the Chinese Waitress cast on. There's also a Chinese Waitress bind off. It involves a crochet hook. It's not provisional. But as soon as we heard the name, we about spit out whatever was in our mouths. I mean, it was hysterical. And we had just, everyone really, really clicked, and I put more things on my queue from that knit together from these people that were knitting these amazing, amazing projects that that's all I'm going to say. I'm just, It was so much fun. And when you have that much fun, I said, I've got to pay attention to Bob. I pay attention to him all weekend. That weekend I was like, oh, I'm going here, I'm going here. Yeah. Yeah. It was very fun. And then Wednesday, we had a great knitting session on Wednesday. I'm a little overwhelmed, but anyway. So fun. But I wanted to come on and tell you about the stuff that is going on. So if you have knit togethers where you are, go and participate. And it's inspirational, it's fun, it's connections, it's friends, it's, I don't know, it's the best thing that ever happened to me was this knit community. One of the best things. No, the best thing is Bob, I think. Pretty sure, yeah. Yeah. Don't tell him I said that. All right, I think that's it. I'm glad I shared stuff with you. I did a craft room tour this morning. I'm gonna try to connect this video to that. I don't know that I can, so it might be in 2 parts. But anyway, tell me what you're working on, and give this video a thumbs up if you like what you see. Subscribe if you have not. And get this pattern, Turtledove. It's actually called Turtledove, but I love it. Love it. Okay. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm gonna click you off, and I'll see you on Instagram, and I'll be back in a few weeks with a new podcast, maybe even shorter than that. If not, just check in with my stories, because sometimes I'll post stories. Okay. Bye. Love y'all. Bye.